Been sitting here with Mike Lawler from Cyprex. He is fresh off his panel from the Property Management Lab. Will you please, inform our audience about your panel and maybe something interesting that you guys discuss?
Our original meeting, we had a little different agenda, but then over the last few weeks, with the two hurricanes coming in, obviously it changed everybody's focus and it changed our agenda. So we talked a lot about the people impacted. We talked about the devastation and what should be done and how we should prepare for it. So one of the things the group really did a very nice job as far as, I think we all agree that the communication is a huge piece of it. The communication between the servicers, GSEs, field service vendors, making sure that people understand what's to happen and how to go about it. Because the people that were impacted, well, we're in the default business. There were people that are current on their loans that were also impacted. So our servicers have a vested interest in those properties with current borrowers, and you cannot approach current borrowers the same way you do it with a vacant property. So there was a lot of interesting points brought up and a lot of different ways to address those, and some of the specifics. That was pretty good.
Okay. Here, based off all that, what was the most interesting potential, solution to all the challenges that we face that maybe you brought up or another panelist had brought up?
Well, I moved to Florida 2 years ago, and the first thing that happened when I moved to Florida was they told me, we get hurricanes, and get prepared, go out and get your supplies, we get hurricanes. So the fact that a hurricane came up through Florida this year should not have been a big surprise. But when you look at how everybody was ill-prepared, I mean, I'm talking about our industry, right. Ill-prepared for it, and the way we reacted. And now we're trying to get caught up and trying to do a great job after the fact. One of the ways to handle this would be to handle how we do winterization. In the north, winterization is a huge part of our business because it gets very cold and properties freeze. So we do year-round winterization, or some people would do it just in the fall on the winterize. One approach would be to handle hurricanes the same way. We get hurricanes. Why not prepare for hurricanes? And that could be stocking materials in certain regions, so that when the hurricane was coming, you could be prepared and have materials. Right now, if you go down there, we send people in there at the 11th hour to do the work. There's no materials. It's sold out, so there's no plywood to board up the windows. But if you prepared for it in advance, started doing it in July through August, and then when the hurricanes came, you could be ready for it. The worst thing that happens is they sell the property and people get the plywood for their windows in advance. The new homeowners would be really pretty happy with that. They would not be upset.
Okay. Last question. So what do you think is the best way to prepare, especially mostly for people in our industry?
Well, to be prepared, what they should do right now, because this is so fresh in everybody's mind, there needs to be disaster recovery plans, and the disaster recovery plans need to be all-encompassing. So the GSEs need to issue, here's how we're going to do it. The servicers need to issue, here's how we're going to do it. Vendors need to be prepared for it. And they need to, all different aspects. We mentioned a few minutes ago about there's current borrowers. They're not in default, but there still needs to be inspections done on those properties. There's different rules to follow. But rather than trying to figure it out during the midst of the storm, if you plan for it, you'll get a better performance.
Yes. Totally agree. Thank you so much for all your awesome points there about everything. On a lighter note, just want to ask you, how's your 5-star conference experience going?
On a lighter note, it's going well. We come here every year. We always have a booth here. It's well attended. It's a lot of fun. You see a lot of friends from the industry. It's a great time to get together, share some war stories, and just meet a lot of old friends. So I'd say it's going well.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.